All right, welcome back, boys and girls. We're now going to move on to, this will actually be our last topic for Chapter 1. Now, it's not the last topic for Unit 1 on the physiology side because there will be content from Chapter 2 and then also Chapter 3. But this will be the last physiology topic in the first chapter. And this is going to be about homeostasis. This is a very important concept in physiology. You'll hear about this all throughout Biology 201 and 202. And what does this mean? I like to think about it as referring to like home stable, homeostasis. We're keeping the home stable. And more specifically, it refers to the requirement that the human body maintain a stable internal environment. And let's think about it for a second. If your body was not able to do that, would you be able to survive? Certainly not. And in fact, you die when your body is no longer able to maintain homeostasis. Okay, your body has to stay in what is called sometimes a dynamic state of equilibrium. So there are various things inside the body that have to be kind of kept at a roughly constant level. Maybe you can think of some of those things like your body temperature, for example, your heart rate. The average heart rate in a human adult is about 72 beats per minute. Now that's going to vary from individual to individual. Let's see. Hang on, I'm losing my pen here. Okay. So as I was mentioning, there are various things inside the body that have to be maintained at more or less a constant normal level. So that includes things like your body temperature, your heart rate, your blood pressure, all kinds of things. Maybe you can think of others. How about your breathing rate? Your water levels in the body. You can't have too much and you can't have too little. But in reality, though, as your body maintains this sort of equilibrium where you don't have too much of something, you don't have too little, things within the body fluctuate. So that's what's meant by dynamic. So in reality, a lot of these things that we're thinking about here, like body temperature and heart rate and so forth, they don't stay right at a constant level all the time. They fluctuate. So they go up and they go down. 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 And we really don't even realize that's going on because our bodies are so good at keeping these various things under control that as they go up a little bit too high, your body has methods of responding and they come back down. And then when they get too low, your body has methods for detecting that and they go back up. And that's happening all the time with many different aspects as your body tries to maintain this stable internal environment. And that's what we mean by homeostasis, being a dynamic state of equilibrium. All right, how do we control homeostasis in the body? So your body has, and all throughout your A&P classes, you're going to be learning about how the body detects and monitors changes, these little fluctuations that happen. And then your body has very elegant, sophisticated ways for controlling these types of things. And you'll see lots of examples of these as you move through your 2 semesters in A&P. The 2 body systems that are the most involved with controlling homeostasis, or at least as far as the communication and the signaling that's required to make this happen, are your nervous system and your endocrine system. So on the body system video lecture, we discussed how the nervous system, fast-acting control, instantaneous, you don't even have to think about a lot of things. Endocrine system also is involved in controlling many bodily processes. The endocrine system, though, is often, not always, but it's often more of a slowly responding system, and the effects of the endocrine system are longer lasting as it releases these chemical hormones that control many of our bodily processes and help us maintain homeostasis. All right, so The different homeostatic control mechanisms in the body, this communication that takes place where we detect changes in some aspect of homeostasis and then we respond to it to control it, they all have certain elements that work together to make this happen. So they all have some common themes. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the general features of a homeostatic control mechanism in the body. And let's just roll through these one at a time here. Okay, so as we see here on this particular slide, we're trying to maintain something in the human body, like let's say your body temperature, in a state of balance. But in reality, your body temperature, you don't realize it, but it's slightly going up and slightly going down and slightly going up and slightly going down throughout the day. All right, so your body has to, those changes in body temperature or heart rate, breathing rate, blood sugar levels, or whatever they are, those are called, the singular form of the word is stimulus, plural would be stimuli. So that is whatever it is that's producing a change in some variable like body temperature. You got to have some structure or structures in the body that detect that change. You know, for example, you have nerves that specialize in detecting body temperature changes. You actually have nerves that specialize in detecting the levels of salt that you have in your body fluids. You have nerves in the body that respond to changes in your blood pressure. So often these receptors are parts of the nervous system. All right, when a receptor detects a change due to some stimulus has raised your body temperature or has lowered it too low, the receptor detects it and it has to send signals to a control center that is going to process that information and is going to make a response. And so that receptor sends those signals. That's called an afferent pathway. Afferent means toward something, so we're moving toward a control center. Often that control center, as you might imagine, is going to be some part of the brain that's going to process this information. The control center then makes a decision about how the body will respond to correct this imbalance that's developing. You know, if something's going up too high or going too low, we've got to respond to that. And so the control center will then send signals, and usually, again, this is through the nervous system, not always, but usually, and those signals are going to go out on what's called an efferent pathway. That's outgoing information, or you're moving away from something. That's efferent. That information is sent, it's a signal that is sent to what we call an effector. That's going to be some body structure that is going to do something that's going to correct our imbalance. An example, like with body temperature, an effector would be your sweat glands. So if you're too hot, there's a region in the brain that sends signals to your sweat glands and tells them to start releasing sweat onto the surface of your skin. And as that sweat evaporates, your body temperature cools. So that's an example of an effector. All right, so then the effector is going to cause a response of some type, such as sweating, that's going to cause the imbalance to correct. You should move back towards what we call a normal homeostatic range. Let me write that up here. So we have that information there, normal homeostatic range. As part of homeostasis, yes, many things within the body fluctuate up and down, and so we have a range at which those things occur, and those are called normal homeostatic ranges. So like your blood pressure, you want to keep it usually at an average of about 120/80, but it can go a little higher and it can go a little lower, so those would be your normal homeostatic ranges for blood pressure. So you'll hear about that quite a bit as you move through your A&P courses. Okay, I'm actually going to stop this video clip here, and I'm going to divide this last topic up into two video clips, so there will be a 5A video clip and a 5B video clip for this homeostasis topic.